Welcome back. Gun battles are raging this morning in South Israel as air raid sirens warn of continued strikes on Israel after Hamas launched an unprovoked attack on the state of Israel. This as President Biden and a group of bipartisan lawmakers are pushing for more aid to Ukraine and to be included in the new budget. The U.S. has already committed more than $100 billion in aid to Ukraine since the start of Russia's invasion. Critics are demanding accountability on the aid before any more money is allocated and want to know what specific support the U.S. is giving to America's #1 ally in the Middle East, Israel, as it fights back this morning in a war with terrorist group Hamas. Joining me right now, a woman who voted against sending any more money to Ukraine. Right now, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a member of the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committees. Congresswoman, thank you very much for being here this morning. I want to get to the battle for the speaker's race in a moment, but first, you're on the Homeland Security Committee. What is the impact to the homeland, to America, as we watch this horrific story unfolding in Israel this morning?
This should be a wake-up call to every single American, Maria, if they have not been woken up already. What happened to Israel could happen to America because our country has been invaded by millions of people from over 160 countries. And we've been invaded by people we don't even know where they are. There are so many gotaways. The Biden administration cannot keep up with them, and they're all over the streets, all over the entire country. And so what we're seeing in Israel could happen to the United States of America, and it'd be foolish to ever think that that's not possible.
Has the war on Israel created an expedited situation in terms of getting a speaker in place? Can you walk us through what will take place this week with regard to the Speaker of the House?
Yes, absolutely. We're in a serious weakened position. Republicans that control the majority in the House of Representatives. I want to remind everyone that we barely control the majority of the House, and that's only 1/3 of the federal government. What happened last week, I completely disagree with. It was 8 Republicans joining with all the Democrats in the House and basically throwing the gavel on the floor and saying it's now up for grabs at anyone that wants it. This is not a serious thing to do when you control the House of Representatives. And no matter how you feel about Kevin McCarthy, I can tell you I was getting things accomplished because through Kevin McCarthy, I was able to get the Ukraine money taken out of the defense bill. And I fought very hard for that. And I'm proud that that happened. I also got an impeachment inquiry launched, which without a vote in the House of Representatives. And that was because I urged him to do it. And it was so important to seriously go after the Bidens for all of their criminal and corrupt actions they've taken while Joe Biden has held power. So I want change in Washington, too. I think it needs to happen. But the only way real change can happen is when we control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. But I'm very concerned about where we stand right now.
Who are you supporting for Speaker?
I'm talking with the people that are running for Speaker. The issues are important to me. I have a bill that would stop transgender surgeries on children, and that bill has been sitting in the Judiciary Committee for quite some time now, and I would like to see it marked up and taken to the floor for a vote. So that's an issue I'm pushing. I'm also continuing to push to stop funding the war in Ukraine and push those countries to peace. And now with what's happening in Israel, we're looking at a whole different situation. I want to track the serial numbers of the weapons that Hamas is using against Israel, and I want to know if they came from Afghanistan or if they came from weapons that we provided to Ukraine. So these are answers that I want from whoever's running for Speaker.
We heard from the UN ambassador earlier on Fox and Friends who said right now there could be dozens of Americans, American Israelis, being held hostage by Hamas. How does that change the level of engagement from America?
It's extremely serious. Anytime Americans are held hostage in a dangerous situation like this, where we're seeing women and children being kidnapped, babies held in cages, elderly people were shot and murdered in the streets. And if Americans are being involved in this is a very serious situation that involves our country. Again, I don't want to see America go to war. I want world peace back like we had under President Trump. But we have a crisis, and we're being dragged into this if Americans are involved.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We are in a crisis because we certainly are, given that war is now underway in the Middle East, war on Israel, and it is retaliating. Congressman, you just went through a couple of issues that you want to see finished and completed the way you want to see them before you want to commit to who you're going to vote for Speaker. You need 218 votes, and you've got to get behind someone. Are we going to have the answer of who will take the Speaker's gavel next week?
I hope we can have the answer, Maria. Again, I didn't cause this problem.
You're not committed, but you're not committing right now. You want answers in terms of that bill that you want moved before you give us an answer.
Right. So I serve the American people. I serve the American people, and right now these transgender surgeries on kids is awful. I serve the American people, and I don't think our tax dollars should fund a war in Ukraine. I serve the American people, and I want our borders secured. I serve the American people, and I want our government to stop being weaponized against the American people.
That's fine, but if you don't get what you want, are you saying that you will not agree to a speaker, and will this go open-ended beyond next week?
No, I'm not saying I won't agree, but I want to hear our speaker candidates answer these questions. And that's the right thing for me to do. I demand answers. I represent my district, and whoever wants to be speaker needs to be able to answer how they'll handle those particular issues. Okay, you think we'll know who the speaker is by next Friday? I certainly hope so. We should have never been in this predicament in the first place, but I certainly hope so. Congresswoman, thank you. We'll be watching your work, important work. Marjorie Taylor Greene joining us this morning in Georgia. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.